welcome to lesson 8 of our GarageBand series. Today we're learning to create jazz music. We're going to explain what jazz music sounds like and some of the instruments used. We're going to create using the major blues scale and create a jazz song using multiple instruments and techniques. So let's have a quick listen to my piece and then I'll talk about what jazz music is. Okay, so jazz, as you heard there, jazz is a musical genre that originated in African American communities of New Orleans, Louisiana. So that's in the United States, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It's rooted in blues and ragtime, so we've looked at blues, so that's where it came from. And since the 1920s, it's been recognised as a major form of musical expression. Jazz is characterised by swing, so that's where you could maybe swing back and forth to that piece of music, and blues notes, so the notes that we are using are in the blues scales. So let's go and create a new song. Do look in more detail about jazz with your teacher. So I'm going to create a new song, and this time I want to find where it says drummer. Okay, we've used drums before, but this one's drummer. So this kind of creates a virtual drummer in your piece of music. So I'm going to choose the acoustic drummers. And where it's got a picture of a person, I'm going to choose Mason. And here, straight away, you've got the drum beat. But I would like to set up this drum beat, so I am going to make it simple and soft. I'm going to take away the cymbals, and I'm going to put fills down to the bottom. I'm then going to go kick and snare 1, and then have a listen. So I think I'm happy with that as a simple backing. I'm almost happy with it actually. I'm going to go to where it says swing, and I'm going to put 8th swing heavy. Let's listen to the change. So you can kind of hear the swing there. We can maybe add more to him later on once you've added the other instruments over the top. So if we go to the this view, and we're going to add a new instrument. This time we are going to go for a bass, okay? But what we're actually going to do to find the bass we want is we're going to go into keyboard. Because you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to change where it says clarinet to upright. See this one that says upright? So this is an upright bass. And I would like to change the scale to a major blues scale. So that's where I said in the success criteria, looking at major blues. That's what the major blues sound like. And we're going to do what's called a walking bass, which is kind of what I did there. So I'm just walking my finger from the C to the other C, the grade 1 to the other grade 1. Before I record, I am going to change the tempo and make sure the tempo is nice and lively at 110. Here we go, 110. So once I'm happy with that walking bass up, you notice that I had to kind of wait on notes, make up what you think is appropriate, and then I'm going to go to my instruments. I'm actually going to turn the drums down. Drums were quite distracting when I was recording that. You might want to do that beforehand. And then I'm going to add another instrument, and this time I am going to add some brass. So I need to go to keyboard again, and I am going to choose brass. Let's see if I can find it. Brass ensemble. Ensemble just means a group of musicians. Change the scale again to major blues, and so we're going to add a little run, riff, whatever you want to call it, in at bar 4 and bar 8. So let's have a listen. So I've got that little brass section in, so you can see it sounds quite good. And then I'm going to go back to this view, and I'm going to put in another instrument. Now this is where there's different lead instruments in jazz. A saxophone is a really common one, but for some reason GarageBand doesn't have a saxophone. So the nearest I can get to a saxophone is a clarinet. So clarinet use the same fingering as a saxophone. There's just a little bit more to a saxophone. It's a little more, it's made of brass rather than it being made like this. So, made of wood traditionally. So we're going to try and create a scale. I've changed it to major blues again, and I can create something here. So let's go back to the start, and this is where you create your melody, your tune. So let's click record, and let's come up with something. So there I've got my piece of music. The other lead instrument that you could choose, and I would probably only have one or the other. You can maybe create one and then decide. So I can mute my clarinet and I can create a piano piece instead. So if I go to keyboard, I'm just going to change this to, say, a piano instrument. So if I go into the keyboards and I want a classical grand, click done. And then I need to change that scale again to major blues. And let's try recording. So there you go. You could see how they sound together if you just unmute. But you see I created a different melody. So if you were using them both together, you'd create the same melody, but just mute the one that you don't want. If you then decide exactly which one you don't want, tap on it and there is a delete button. But that is a simple jazz song in there. Remember, you can add extra bits into the drum kit and play about. The whole thing is, this is just the basis for you to explore even more.